Did you know doing less exercises gets you more jacked? In fact, you can get incredibly jacked doing just 5 to 10 exercises. And I know what you're thinking, but Tanner, it can't be that simple. Well, actually it is. The problem is that there's so much conflicting training information on social media, no one knows what to believe. Think about it. Most fitness influencers fall into 2 camps. One, they're either on steroids, so they're going to look jacked and shredded no matter how good or bad their training and diet advice is. Or 2, they rely on science-based training that oftentimes just confuses you more than helps you. What if I told you can get super jacked without using steroids? What if I told you can get super jacked without science? And what if I told you can get super jacked just by doing 5 to 10 exercises? Sounds too simple to be true, right? Well, the truth is, getting strong and jacked is so simple, it hurts my brain. And if you're new to my channel, I'm Tanner Shuck. I'm a lifetime natural lifter and coach with over 20 years of experience. I am objectively strong, lean, fit, and healthy. And guess what? You don't need to use steroids, worry about science, or do 50 different exercises to get jacked. But if you want to know the best exercises to do in the gym to truly get jacked, you do need to watch this video. But before we get into the specifics, we need to understand what makes an exercise maximally effective. There's really just 3 criteria. Number 1, it uses a large amount of muscle. Number 2, it can be trained through a full range of motion. And number 3, it has a high degree of tension and can easily be overloaded. When you select your exercises based on those 3 criteria, trust me, you will never go wrong. Why? Because exercises that incorporate a lot of muscle through a large range of motion with heavy ass weight are, simply put, the best. These exercises give you the most bang for your buck, or what I like to say, give you the most value for your time, and are guaranteed to get you strong and jacked. All you really need to do is focus on the compound lifts. Which ones? I'll get to that shortly. But first, you must understand that pretty much all strength exercises fall into 2 categories: compound exercises and isolation exercises. Now, before I reveal my top exercises, let's quickly discuss the differences between compounds and isolations. In short, isolation exercises don't get you strong and jacked. Compound exercises do. Isolation exercises, like bicep curls or calf raises, only refine a physique and are really only effective and worth your time if you're already strong and jacked. I like to use this analogy. Think of your body as a Christmas tree. Think of the compound exercises as the water and sunshine to grow that tree, and think of the isolation exercises as the ornaments you hang on your tree. If you have a little piddly ass tree because you don't give it enough sunshine or water, it's going to look like shit no matter how many ornaments you hang on it. So before you worry about decorating your tree with ornaments, also known as isolation exercises, you need to first grow into a big, beautiful tree with compound exercises. So if you're a beginner or intermediate lifter and you've still got a pencil neck, I'm tired of having a pencil neck. Don't waste your time on isolation exercises. Trust me, you will get way stronger, way faster sticking mainly to compound lifts. Now, before everyone freaks out in the comments, I'm not saying never do isolation exercises. I'm just saying if you're a beginner or intermediate lifter, you should never prioritize isolation exercises over compound exercises, which a lot of training noobs do because they don't know any better. Now, I'll talk more about isolation exercises, when and how to do them, and which ones are best later in the video. So now, what are my top exercises? Just know, if the exercise made this list, it's definitely worth your time to do it, and I honestly think my list will surprise you. But I'll provide plenty of justification for each exercise, and just know I did save the best exercises for last, so make sure to stick around to the end. All right, let's get into it. Dude, when did this shirt get so fucking tight, man? I guess my bulk really did work. What's simultaneously the worst and best single leg exercise of all time? If you guessed lunges or step-ups, you're wrong. It's the rear foot elevated split squat, commonly known as Bulgarian split squats. This exercise absolutely destroys both your glutes and quads and is easily my favorite single leg exercise. It's great to even out imbalances between legs and can be trained with both dumbbells or a barbell. And a quick note, place your back foot laces up on either a split squat pad or a bench and use full range of motion. Next, what's the hardest abdominal exercise you can think of? Is it a sit-up, V-up, dragon flag, L-sit? No, it's a standing ab wheel. And trust me, if you master a standing ab wheel, every single other abdominal exercise that I just mentioned will be easy. The reason you probably didn't guess a standing ab wheel is because you never see it, because hardly anyone is strong enough to do it. And if you want to learn how to build the requisite strength to get a standing ab wheel, I'll link that video in the description. Moving on. What's the first exercise you think of to hit your quads? Chances are you guessed leg extensions. But do you really think leg extensions are the best exercise to build huge quads? Definitely not. Think of it like this. How long can you really get stronger at leg extensions? Even if you add weight to them every week, what's it going to be? 4 to 6 weeks, 8 weeks tops before you max out on your leg extension? A much better quad exercise is a hack squat. If you have a hack squat machine at your gym, use it. And if you don't see anyone at your gym using your hack squat machine, the only reason is it's because they're hard as But trust me, there's no better way to build your quads than deep, heavy hack squats taken close to failure. Now, when you see bodybuilders training chest, what are the usual exercises you see them doing? If you said the pec deck machine or cable flies, you are right. But if you think those are the best exercises to build your pecs, you are wrong. Just because you can feel your pecs or they look super striated when you're doing cable flies doesn't mean it's an effective exercise for building your pecs. A far better exercise is the incline dumbbell press. Remember what constitutes a top tier exercise. It uses a lot of muscle, a large range of motion, and can be trained heavy and effectively overloaded. All of which an incline dumbbell press does very well. So that's why it's in my top 10. Now, we just learned my second favorite chest exercise. But do you want to know an even more effective exercise? The dip. In fact, I consider the dip the greatest upper body pushing exercise because not only is it great for pecs, but it's also great for anterior delts and triceps. Ever noticed how male gymnasts and calisthenic dudes have insanely strong and developed chest and triceps? That's what doing a shitload of dips does. Another reason I love dips is because you can easily overload them. So while bodyweight dips are great, weighted dips are even better. Now, before I reveal my top 5 exercises, I have to give a huge thanks to my sponsor, Transparent Labs. And if you want the highest quality supplements at the most affordable price, use code TANNER. And another huge thanks to my other sponsor, Barbell Apparel. If you want the best training gear or casual wear, this is your brand. They also gave me my very own True Strength line with shirts, shorts, and joggers. So if you enjoy and get value out of my content and want to directly support me, check out Transparent Labs and Barbell Apparel. All right, back to the video. Now, when you think of training your delts, if you're like most people, you probably think of endless variations of dumbbell lateral raises, front raises, bent over lateral raises. And I'm here to tell you, if you think that's the best way to hit your shoulders, it's not. If you want bolder shoulders, the first exercise you should do is the overhead press. While I also love seated dumbbell strict press, remember, the best exercise will almost always be the one where you can lift the heaviest weight through a large range of motion, which is why I have to give the nod to the barbell overhead press. All right, now, I could have easily placed this next exercise in my top 3. And the only reason I didn't is because it has less potential to overload. But I will tell you, it's the single greatest exercise for building specifically a lean and muscular upper body. And that is the strict pull-up and or chin-up. Just think about it like this. I guarantee you never have and never will see a guy who can bang out at least 15 unbroken strict pull-ups that doesn't have a lean and strong upper body. And if I had to choose one single exercise to get a lean, strong upper body, it would easily be the strict pull-up. No other exercise offers you more value for your time when it comes to building bigger biceps, forearms, and a more muscular back. Now, if you've made it this far in the video and you can't guess my top 3 exercises, you're either a noob or an idiot. Let's hope you're a noob. But the best upper body pushing exercise ever, I would have to say, is the barbell bench press. And I know I might catch some flack to this, and many of you may disagree that barbell bench press is neither the best pec or tricep exercise. But again, in regards to the criteria of selecting the most effective exercises, there's no better upper body exercise that uses a ton of muscle over a large range of motion that can be effectively overloaded and trained over a long period of time. The bench press meets all those criteria, and I guarantee, if you get your bench from 135 to 225 to 315, you're going to have a jacked upper body. All right, now again, some of you may disagree with my selection, and some consider this the king of all exercises, and that's the conventional deadlift. No other exercise builds up your posterior chain better than the deadlift. It legitimately hits every single muscle on your backside from the ground up. The calves, hamstrings, glutes, erectors, lats, rhomboids, and traps. And trust me, if you want to build a huge, thick, dense, and just overall mutant looking back, you need a deadlift and deadlift heavy. There's just no other way around it. My back is my strongest body part. And while doing loads of pull-ups and weighted pull-ups may have given me my width, years of heavy deadlifts have given me the density and thickness. And want to know a telltale sign of a strong dude that takes training seriously? It's a big and thick back. Now finally, the number 1 greatest exercise to get seriously strong and jacked is, you guessed it, the back squat. The back squat is the king of all lifts. The reason the back squat is the king of all lifts is because you literally strengthen every muscle that's under the bar. It's the greatest exercise to build and maintain overall strength. And if I had to choose only one exercise to do for the rest of my life, it would be the back squat for that very reason. While I already discussed the other most effective exercises, they just don't stack up against the back squat. And a few reasons why I chose the back squat over the deadlift is because it trains the entire leg, including the quads, and also strengthens pretty much every muscle in the back as well. Additionally, heavy back squats can be trained more often as they are easier to recover from than heavy deadlifts. And lastly, 9 times out of 10, if you get your squat stronger, your deadlift gets stronger by default. But your back squat probably won't get stronger if you just get your deadlift stronger. Why is that? I think it has to do with your leg drive from the floor on the deadlift. And if you got your legs stronger from squats, the more leg drive you have from the floor on your deadlifts. So there you have it. The 10 best exercises to get you the most jacked. Now, am I saying you should only do these 10 exercises? Absolutely not. But what I am saying is that these exercises or iterations of these exercises should be the foundations of any legitimate strength program. And I know not all of you will agree with my list, but trust me, if all of you incorporated these 10 exercises into your training routine, added weight, reps over time, I guarantee you'll be strong all over. And before you go crazy in the comments again and say, but Tanner, what about your hamstrings? I could have just as easily included Romanian deadlifts or Nordic curls into this list, but I wanted to keep it to just 10 exercises. I almost swapped out the ab wheel for the RDLs, but then I thought heavy conventional deadlifts train the hamstrings already, and then I would have no exercise that directly trains the abs. So that's why I went with the ab wheels. But RDLs are great and I do them. So when should I do my isolation exercises? All right, now, isolation exercises do have their time and place. But again, if you truly want to get the most value out of them, make sure you're at least an intermediate or advanced level lifter that's already pretty strong on all the compounds. And you almost always want to save the isolation exercises till the end of your workout, because if you're training properly, you should almost always prioritize the compound lifts first. Just think about this. You wouldn't want to start your workout with a ton of tricep cable extensions and then go do heavy ass bench press right afterwards, right? Your triceps would already be fatigued for bench and it would compromise your ability to lift the most weight and build the most muscle. Just remember this, start in and then work out, meaning always start with the main compound lift that uses the most amount of muscle and allows you to lift the heaviest weight, because that's what's going to build the most muscle. And then afterwards, work out, meaning if you want to target specific muscles like your biceps, delts, or calves, then go for it. It's not going to hurt anything, and isolation exercises are a great way to keep your training varied and fun, because I think we'll all agree, if you don't enjoy the program you're doing, you're unlikely to stick to it. So there's my thoughts on isolation exercises. Do them if you want, just always do the hard shit first, also known as the compound lifts, and sprinkle in the isolation exercises as desired. Now, if you want to know my favorite bicep, tricep, forearm exercises, make sure to watch this playlist here. Or if you want to know exactly how I eat and train, what exercises I do, how I structure my training for maximal strength and muscle, and get free workouts, watch this video here. But if you're looking for a legit training program that prioritizes the exact exercises in this video, check out my best-selling 12-week Natty Bulk program. It's 90 days and only 60 bucks. That's just 20 bucks a month. You probably spend more on your Pornhub subscription than that. And as always, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe and turn on your post notifications. And links to all the programs, supplements, and apparel are in the description. Thanks for watching.